This is WSUW-Whitewater 91.7 The Edge. I'm Shannon Cullum, and this is the Farms Radio Show, brought to you by Wisconsin Farms Oral History Projects. I am joined here today by, introduce yourselves, ladies.
My name is Sierra High, a member of S.A.G.E.
And I'm Maddie Reich. I'm also a member of S.A.G.E.
And we're going to be talking about plastics. So, can you tell me a little bit about S.A.G.E. and like how you got involved with it?
Well, it's an organization here on campus. It stands for Students Allied for a Green Earth. And it's all about environmental awareness and like activism. And I got involved through the involvement fair. I walked past and saw the greenery, and I was like, I love it because I love plants and I love the environment, being outside. So yeah.
Yeah, and I got involved because my roommate was a member, and she brought me to one of the meetings, and ever since then, I'm a pretty active member, and it's a great organization to be a part of.
And what kind of events do you guys put on?
Well, we do a lot of like cleanups. We did one in the nature preserve, I believe. And then I know when it gets warmer, we do like stream testing. I did one of those once, and it was actually really, really fun because I'm all about that. And then we go on hikes too. We went to Paradise Springs, was it? That was incredible. That's a really cool place. And it's like so close to Whitewater. It's super cool.
That is so cool. So as I said earlier, we are talking about plastics, and before we begin bashing plastics, what are some benefits to plastic, and why do you think it's so popular today?
I think plastic is pretty popular today because it is inexpensive, lightweight, and people get a lot of use out of it. Plastic is really an epidemic in society today. We see it really anywhere, from our cell phones to computers to hospital IV bags. It's literally everywhere, and people benefit from using it.
Yeah, and it's like it's a pretty like easy thing to make, and it's like a huge like industry. So
yeah,
of course,
it's like
people
very
profit
inexpensive,
from it.
and I mean it's like all around us, honestly.
Oh yeah, even yeah.
And I did some research about this, so I'm not an expert like you guys, but I found out that I always thought that plastic is just plastic, but there are different types. Like I think there's 7 types. Do you guys know about that?
I don't know the specific types,
Okay.
but I know there's like they're made like differently.
Yeah.
And have different purposes, obviously, but
because in my research I found like the most like it's like ranked from like least toxic to like most toxic. So obviously the least toxic is like one use like soda bottles and like juice bottles, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the most toxic is like, I don't know, like bumpers and like industrial stuff like that, you know, things you shouldn't be licking or eating.
Right, absolutely.
You know? But I just thought that was really interesting. And which plastic is most harmful and why?
I think because I know that there are a lot of additives to them. Like I know they put in like lead, cadmium, and mercury in some of them. So I guess those, and I guess the most harmful plastic is the one that's not disposed properly, because it can get into oceans and break up and get into like microplastics, or it could sit in the landfill and like leach into the water supply, which is always bad because we're drinking that.
And also I found that, because I thought that all plastics could be recycled, but I guess they can't be recycled. They're like downcycled. Mm-hmm. Could you maybe explain about that?
Yeah, because I know that the different numbers in the triangle all mean different things.
Mm-hmm. They're toxic levels, I think.
Yeah. And I know with like soda bottles and like water bottles, they can they put them into like they like pack them into like boxes, and then they shred them and then melt them down and then like downcycle them. So yeah, that's.
And like by downcycle, does that mean they're never going to be like water bottles again, or like what is that? What does downcycle mean? I guess.
I'm pretty sure it means just like they're just like a less.
A lesser quality kind
lesser
of plastic.
Quality, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Are there any safe plastics we can use that aren't like filled with chemicals and that are eco-friendly?
I think they do make like a more eco-friendly plastic, but yeah, I'm not quite sure about that.
Maybe like the BPA free and stuff like that.
Yeah, there are like the water bottles that reusable water bottles that are BPA free. Because BPA is really in a lot of plastics and dangerous and can lead to like health issues and conditions. I think I read a statistic that it was like 95% of Americans over the age of 6 years old have test positive for BPA in their urine.
Really?
Yeah. So, and that just comes from plastic just being in the air everywhere around us and in the materials we use.
So you mentioned like health concerns and stuff like that with BPA. Like, what kind of health issues does BPA create?
I think I read a study, and it was about the higher level of BPA in your body. It was you have an increased risk of heart disease and diabetes. So that's kind of concerning.
And like, just changing the topic from health concerns, what other like environmental issues do plastics create besides like filling up landfills and stuff like that?
Well, I know that when they're exposed to the ocean, they don't like biodegrade. So they break up into like tiny microplastics and they sit on the surface, and then that blocks sunlight from the organisms like down below the surface
really?
that like that need the sunlight to like start I guess like growing and living, and then that affects the food chain obviously. And then just like in the ocean, the way the currents flow, there's just like huge like I guess you could call them pockets of just like trash. And there's one in the Pacific Ocean, and there's like two in the Atlantic Ocean. They're like everywhere, and it's just this island of just trash.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And then like turtles come over, and like they're like, oh yeah, this is a jellyfish. No, it's a plastic bag. And then they eat it, and then plastics make them feel full. So then they like die of starvation because
and probably all the chemicals in the plastics are very harmful to them too. And I know that like those little like soda bottle like container thingies, like
the 6-pack.
those 6-pack. I know those are very dangerous to marine life because they can get stuck in those, right?
Right. Yeah. And like even I think it was like I saw a picture. It was like a turtle that had one of those plastic wraps
the rings,
around the shell even, and that it could really cause harm to like any wildlife or animals.
So like what kind of like land animals could be affected besides like marine animals? What kind of land animals could be affected by or even just like plants like like the forests and stuff? How can they be affected by plastics?
Right. Well I think animals too, a lot of even like birds going in and consuming plastics, and also so if you see like litter or you just go on landfills, the plastic and the chemicals that or the chemicals that are in plastic can really just disrupt habitats and the environment from it seeping into the ground. So that causes also concern.
And like if it seeps into the ground, that was my dog. But when it seeps into the ground, does that cause issue with like growing and stuff? Like,
oh yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's see. And like, what health concerns like for people are there with plastics?
Well, I mean, it could leach into the water, and because of like the lead and the cadmium and stuff like that, that's obviously not good for our bodies because the heavy metals like mess with our like brain cells. So that's obviously not.
How do they mess with our brain cells?
Because they're heavier, and so when they connect to the nerves, like they have issues sending signals back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's when it gets kind of like dicey. And then with children with like developing like cells, that's always bad because then they don't develop correctly.
And who is most at risk for the negative effects of plastic?
I would say more like, I guess, poorer cities because they don't have, it's like environmental like injustice. So they don't really have the resources or like the money to combat like what's happening. So if they have like landfills that don't have liners, or if they're just like
constantly using plastics.
Yeah, because I mean it's cheaper, so of course they're gonna like probably use more to save money, and then they just don't have the resources to like fight back to I guess like combat the injustice.
And what about like certain age groups? Like children, I would feel like would be most in danger for, you know, those
Right.
when they're developing, their like brain cells get all messed up with the plastic, and probably pregnant ladies as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again with the kids, I'm sure that all the pretty colors they'll want to eat it.
Yeah,
too,
right.
which
I
is-
know. And like licking their toys.
Of course, yeah.
Of course, yeah. Because I remember there was some like, is lead paint considered a plastic? Because I remember there was like that, you know, they used to always recall toys because they had like lead
they had
paint
lead-
or something,
yeah.
you know?
I don't know if that's classified.
No,
I don't
it's
think so, but
just
like
paint.
Yeah. Still dangerous.
Yeah,
of course,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
Still we need to
definitely.
watch out for
Still
Definitely.
don't like those.
Yeah. So how can listeners avoid like again, my dog, I apologize. How can listeners avoid harmful plastics and like use plastic safely?
I mean, I guess just like reducing our like plastic footprint, like by using like cloth grocery bags would be like the best case scenario, or even like paper grocery bags. And there's like plenty of ways you can like reuse your water bottles. Like even if you just buy them from the store, you can like fill them back up, or just reusing and like trying to not, I guess, buy so much plastic.
Yeah, like
If you can-
maybe
if you
like
have the choice.
replacing your like household items that are plastic, like, you know, plastic measuring cups and bowls and stuff like that with glass. Because I mean, then you don't have to worry about like, you know, the heat ruining the plastic
Yeah.
and then the chemicals seeping
Yeah, that's
into your
also
food.
very dangerous. yeah,
Yes,
so.
definitely. And I know that I love my stainless steel water bottle because not only does it keep my water, you know, cold, but
Right.
it just saves the environment, and I'm not using a lot of plastic, and I don't have to worry about BPA. So I definitely am a big advocate for reusable or just, you know, stainless steel water bottles. And I was just wondering, have you guys ever heard of the Zero Waste Challenge?
I have not actually.
I might have heard of it. Is that where? I don't actually.
Well, I just stumbled upon it like maybe last month, and I found it on YouTube, and it was like these people like can fit the waste they produced in like a mason jar for like
a
a
year.
month or a year, a month,
yeah.
or something like that.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and it's just really interesting. So yeah, these people, instead of, you know, using they never use plastic at all. Like even they used like bamboo silverware, which I thought was really interesting.
wow.
They had like the stainless steel water bottle. They even had like metal straws that they brought to restaurants.
Oh wow.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like, okay. And then to buy their food, they'd go to what's it called, like one of those big stock grocery stores, a bulk grocery store.
Okay.
And they'd like bring a mason jar and like measure the empty mason jar, and then, you know, just fill it up with whatever they wanted, and then they'd have to pay for, like, you know, however heavy that was.
Right.
So it was just really interesting. And obviously, yeah, they like eat all whole foods, like nothing that's like, you know, packaged in plastic.
Yeah.
So how does plastic like affect our food? Speaking of, you know, like eating whole like that.
I guess when it like is like disposed of improperly, if it's like near a farm, it could like you were talking about before, it could like break down and mess with the growing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then you can look at grocery stores as well.
Yeah.
And so I was just shopping yesterday at Woodman's, great grocery store. But just how they package some of their produce, it's ridiculous, because you can see it was like a package of peppers in plastic wrap, which you don't need to package the peppers.
Right.
You know, there's just unnecessary, I think, packaging and plastic use, even in like fresh, whole, like produce.
Really?
So
Do you think that's just to like preserve them even longer?
I think
That's probably it.
it probably
Okay.
is that, but there might be just other ways that they can do that. And I think it was like a meme on Facebook. It was a packaged orange that was peeled already.
I've seen that,
Yeah, and I was like, it's pointless.
Like it has its own natural covering.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's just seriously a waste of plastic, and I just don't like that plastic so close to my food, you know?
Yeah.
Right. So,
Like, I just want to go back to, like, caveman time where we can just eat all natural without any preservatives or anything, because...
Right, it's healthier, too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know that we're talking about plastics, but, like, just all the added sugars and salts and all that stuff with the food these days, it's just gross.
unnecessary as well.
Really, really. So what ways has S.A.G.E brought awareness to the plastic epidemic, would you say?
Yeah, and I know we did a Jitters night where there was trivia.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Was it, like, geared towards, like, plastic?
Yeah.
Oh,
we just went to Jitters, I think it was on a Wednesday night, and then had some flyers around to try to attract some students. And we, made the drinks as like a volunteer-based organization. So we made the drinks for them, and then they also did trivia, and I think they won some prizes that S.A.G.E provided. But also, I think with S.A.G.E, we're trying to just re-educate the students here on campus about plastic use and recycling, because at a young age we're taught to recycle, and I think now when you're older, people I think it's inconvenient, it takes too much time,
you don't really think about it,
so you don't think about it. So I think really what S.A.G.E we're trying to do is try to just educate the student population here, and try to show them how bad plastics can be and what they can do to reduce their plastic footprint.
So like, what kind of like trivia questions did you have for the students at Jitters? Do you remember any?
Yeah, it was like, how much plastic is used per person per year, or like thrown away, and it was something like 185 pounds per person of plastic was thrown away. Yeah, and it's just outrageous. And it was like, what major coffee company uses like the most plastic and styrofoam? And
is it Starbucks?
I think it was either Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, okay.
But still, yeah, just a lot of plastic is used in like corporations like that. So yeah, trivia night was a success. I think we're gonna do some more events at Jitters just to get the students involved. So that's exciting for this semester.
And is it still gonna be like trivia night, or is it gonna be like, what other kind of events do you have planned about plastic?
I think we'll have a couple more trivia nights. We just discussed last week in our S.A.G.E meeting what our plans are for the semester. And you want to go and discuss some?
Yeah, we were going to do some tabling in the UC, maybe like a quick game, and there will be prizes, of course. And then we're going to for Earth Week, we were thinking of making some reusable, not reusable, but using some plastic, recycled products to make a little bit of art.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, hopefully you'll see that around campus.
Yeah, and this week we're creating flyers and posters to be put up around campus, just with statistics and facts regarding plastics and recycling. So hopefully it'll catch the eyes of some students, educate them. And one other thing that S.A.G.E we're trying to work on is working with the dining halls and other food places on campus to get them to use less plastic. So we're going to try to work with Uno's this semester, try to, because there is a lot of plastic and styrofoam used within like the cups, the silverware.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So we're going to try to eliminate plastics there this semester. That's our goal. And try to get recycling to be a bigger epidemic.
Deal.
Bigger deal on campus this year.
Yeah. So how would you do that with Uno's? Would it kind of be like how with like Schaefer's, like they have, glass, like plates and like regular silverware?
Yeah. So we're either that was like one way we could look at it by using just like reusable glass and like metal silverware. Or there's also like you said before, there's alternatives like bamboo utensils, and So I think we can try to like implement those kind of materials into Unos and Ikes as well, because there's still a lot of plastic in Ikes, like the to-go plastic.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of a struggle contacting some people, but we're trying our best to make our way up and try to eliminate it.
So besides like the dining places on campus, where else would you like to see plastic reduced?
I think also within the communities. So even to just eliminate plastic bags used at stores.
Definitely.
I think in the U.S. it was like over 200 cities or communities overall have had a ban on plastic bags. And last spring, I studied abroad in England, and it's banned there. Plastic bags are banned there.
Wow.
Well, you can still buy them, but
okay.
that's the thing. It's like you have to just pay extra to use a plastic bag. So I think implementing something like that in our community might help us reduce the plastic use.
Yeah, definitely.
So
because I know like the grocery store Aldi does that, where they can. I don't think they even sell
they don't
plastic
have
bags.
right,
They have,
and
like,
people have to
reusable.
provide. Yeah,
which is really really great. And like same with like how they package their food. It's all like bulk and cardboard boxes and stuff like that. So, what kind of like which cities have like banned plastic? Just like the bigger cities, or
there was I think. I don't know specific cities, but even California, I think they have that ban in place. So we can look at what they've done and how they've implemented this, and hopefully we can bring it back here.
And is it just a ban on plastic bags, or is it like plastic all around? Like
just plastic bags.
Okay.
Plastic bags.
Okay.
Because it's a good place to start.
Yeah, and plastic bags it's like, I think that's like the easiest thing we can do.
Yeah.
Because there are reusable bags, and they are handy and helping the environment as well.
And when you really think about it, like there's so many plastic bags. Like I have like a collection of plastic bags from Walmart.
Right.
It's like, what do I do with them?
Everyone has that drawer in their kitchen that just has a bunch of bags.
What do I do with them though? Is the question. Like, do you guys know what I do with my massive collection of plastic bags?
See, yeah, that's like kind of a hard one because like water bottles are different where you can just like reuse them like that, but plastic bags, I mean, you can put stuff in them. But
organize things with them. But, I really feel that those clear plastics like water bottles and soda bottles are the easiest to like downcycle. I think I read somewhere like that clear plastics like that are the most easiest, and then like white plastics are kind of difficult maybe or something like that. And do you think like with recycling plastics, is the difficulty in like all the chemicals that's in them? Like, is there anything natural about plastics?
I think it's like made of like oil and gasoline.
Oh.
So the oil might be natural. But
okay.
like
Kind of. I wouldn't say that it's super natural.
Okay, yeah. It's not like as natural as like glass or anything, right? It's still like full of chemicals and harmful for our environment and stuff like that.
very like processed.
Yeah, definitely. And to unprocess that is definitely a challenge.
Right.
Let's see. What do you think our future would be like if plastic usage and disposal continues to increase?
I feel like it might be like dirtier because I mean, not here as much, but in like cities you can see a lot of pollution with plastics. You see like the plastic bag in the tree, or like the water bottles like spread across like a lawn, and it's like really sad, and it's kind of like it's just sad, and it feels dirty. So I hope that doesn't continue because I don't want to see I don't want to see the grass covered in plastics and plastic bags.
What do you think?
I think if plastics increase in use, that, like she said, I think it's just going to be harmful to the environment and with animals, to our water systems. But plastic is everywhere, and it's the third largest manufacturing manufacturer in the industry. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What are the first two?
I don't know.
Okay.
When I looked it up, I go, oh, the third largest.
Ooh.
Still, it's crazy though. So, and so many things are just made of plastic. So I don't even think we can ever get rid of it. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I
So
think it's all around us. I mean, it's in my laptop, it's in my phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seriously, like everywhere.
so yeah, I think like the biggest part about like educating people is it's gonna be around us regardless, but by using less and by recycling what we can, I think we'll be able to have a more sustainable environment.
And in your own lives, what have you done to like use less plastic and dispose of it safely and stuff like that?
Well, I definitely use my reusable water bottle
Good.
every
Same.
day.
Same.
Yeah, I haven't bought a water bottle in forever. I try to like bring it wherever I go because I mean like I like drinking water because it's like healthier. And then I won't have to like buy a soda or something.
Yeah, save money.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I have like just a bunch of reusable bags and like whenever I go shopping I try to use those. Yeah.
Yeah, I do, the same. Also, anytime I go to a restaurant, I never use straws because straws are huge. They're also made of plastic, and there's so many straws if you think about it.
Yeah, really.
So yeah, eliminating.
Again, just like plastic bags, they're everywhere.
So I have eliminated straws out of my life, which sounds really dumb, but I feel like it's helping. Yeah, it's a step towards reducing my plastic use. But yeah, I think also, if you go get coffee somewhere, bringing your own tumbler or coffee mug is also helping. So I do that as well.
Yeah, because if you're just gonna like sit in a coffee shop, sometimes coffee shops offer like mugs. Because I know Stone Creek back in Milwaukee does that. So if you're just gonna sit there, you might as well use a mug instead of
you feel a bit more
paper cup.
classier.
Right.
Yeah.
And doesn't like heat have something to do with like plastic? What? Not. It starts with an L. The word I'm thinking of. Leak. It's not leaking. It's like, I can't think of it.
I do not know.
Okay, but it's like, I don't know, like the plastic gets into the liquid. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, yeah. Like I know that, like once you heat it up, that it does like release a little bit of the chemicals. Which, like, you don't want to like ingest that.
Definitely. So do you think that would like happen with like hot beverages in like plastic containers?
Right. Yeah, I know that's why they like try to like take BPA out of like water bottles so that doesn't happen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with a lot of like the plastic like containers. So you're not supposed to put in the microwave.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
That can be harmful to you. And
Yeah, definitely. And just wrapping up here, because I think we've learned a lot about plastic.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell me about S.A.G.E or plastic?
Well, I guess with S.A.G.E, we're always looking for like new members because we have like a bunch of people from like a bunch of different majors. Like you don't have to be an environmental major, which is super cool because then you get people from all the way like different backgrounds and then people with different ideas, which is like really awesome because then we all come together and like we plan in our like meetings like cool like events, and then we have people to like make art and signs, and then we have like people to kind of like out like get the word out, like
very outgoing people on S.A.G.E.
Yeah.
No, yeah. S.A.G.E is great. We meet on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. in Highland 2301, I believe.
301.
And yeah, if you're interested in plastics, you should totally come to a meeting. We also have different groups within S.A.G.E. We have a vegan group, vegan and vegetarian. We have, and then the divestment group that was here last week. We have those different committees within S.A.G.E. And yeah, so this semester, look out. We're going to be all over campus. Hopefully we're going to, peacefully protest some plastics. That's a fun goal we have. Do some protesting on campus. But yeah, I hope that this will, encourage people to build, a safe and sustainable environment by reducing their use of plastic. And people should go out there and research some more because there's always a lot to learn.
Yeah, there's
Absolutely.
because I feel like a lot of people don't know how dangerous plastics are, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I always just thought it was just BPA. BPA is bad for you. But there's so much more. Like, there's, like, PVC.
Yeah, PVC and
Yeah.
nylon. There's so many additives that create plastic, which is just ugh.
Yeah. So you definitely don't want to get in contact with those.
Bad news bears right there.
But, yeah. Anything else you'd like to tell me about plastic?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For the people out there, plastic, every single piece of plastic that has been created is still around and still exists.
Oh, really?
It takes 500 to 1,000 years for plastic to degrade. So, think about that.
And does it truly degrade, or is there still, like, remains of it? Like, little...
I don't think we know yet.
You don't
Yeah.
know?
Because it hasn't.
Oh, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
It wasn't until, like, I think it was, like, the 1940s where plastic became mass produced.
Yeah.
Jeez,
So-
so what did we use before that? Glass?
We should
Probably
look at
glass.
Yeah, no.
Because
yeah.
I know there are a lot of like glass soda bottles.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So we'll see in the next couple hundred years, I
Yeah.
guess, what's going to happen to this plastic we've been
we'll find
using.
out.
Yeah, really. Do you have anything to add about plastics?
I think we'll leave it at that.
Okay. Well, I think that wraps it up for the Farms show. I want to thank my two lovely ladies from S.A.G.E.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you for educating the listeners and myself about plastics and how terrible they are for the environment.
Yeah.
So this has been the Farm Show. I've been Shannon, and if you guys want to say your names again.
And I'm Sierra.
I'm Maddie.
And this was brought to you by the Wisconsin Farms Over History Project on UW-Whitewater 91.7 The Edge. Thank you for listening.
Okay, bye.